Oh, did I tell you I went on a walk? I went on a walk yesterday. Did I tell you that? It was a finally beautiful day here. It's not as cold, so I like that. I do like the cold, but just for a certain amount of time.
Right.
And I saw this really weird, excuse me, plant, and I like learning kind of the different botany in in our area. And while I was there, it just sprayed me in the face. I'm sorry. I
Oh, shit.
Yeah, it's a bit. Let's get into it. Welcome to the Tu-Vie podcast, TV Movie Entertainment Needs podcast. We are you here this. I was honestly gonna try and rip my shirt with it, and it didn't
It's
work.
just, yeah, you had me at the beginning. I was like,
I
oh,
know.
he's doing a thing.
Yeah, I kind of came up with it last second. No,
Oh,
I'm no Ridley Scott.
hey,
I'm no James Cameron. I'm no David Fincher. Oh, sorry. Welcome to the podcast,
10
Cameron.
comedy points for you.
Thanks. Welcome to the podcast, Cameron. So it's Valentine's weekend. We're gonna be posting this kind of closer to Valentine's than anything, and I thought there's nothing that bursts at the seams with loves that just fills your heart with love and affection, and it just showers you with kisses and face hugs, and that is nothing else than the Aliens franchise. So I thought we'd get into
Yes.
that. But how you doing?
Um, I went to bed around 6 hours ago.
Dang.
I'm feeling charged and refreshed.
Nice.
Um,
Hold on.
and I'm totally not gonna go back to bed the second this is done.
Yeah, man. No, I feel the same way. I was up trying to watch as many Aliens movies as I can last night after fixing some stuff at Colin's old apartment. I had to go over there and do some repair work, so that was always fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, I also didn't know that Peacock had a lot of the Aliens movies on there. So I tried rewatching my favorite ones for just as much as I can, and I fell asleep. And I thought, well, I'll get
Like
up
Alien
early.
Covenant?
Like no, like Aliens, Alien 3, the better ones.
No, like Alien Covenant, the second best one.
No. And by the way, I love what you're doing with your hair. I'm not being funny. It's very
Oh.
2000s. I kind of like it. I like the little spiked in the back. I do like it. But I fell asleep watching Aliens last night. I thought, well, you know what? I'll just go to bed. I'll wake up early and watch it in the morning. Unbeknownst to me, Peacock removed it since it's a new month. So guess we just added
Oh
Aliens
yeah,
to
it's
their DVD
February right
list.
now.
I know. Surviving January.
Crazy. Yeah, for those listening, it's February 1st when we're
Yeah. Yeah.
recording this.
Mm,
Oh, he
sorry.
drinking. He's
Uh,
drinking on the job.
I
Fire
not
him.
not the first time I've done it. It's an energy drink. I definitely need it. And for our New Year's episode, I did open a little bottle of prosecco that will be making a comeback for our Oscars episode. Despite the Oscars becoming a little more a lot, I think there's something that started from a letterbox comment. I didn't think would create something, but the Aliens franchise is something we all hold as cinemaphiles, movie lovers. I don't never like that word cinemaphile. Movie lovers that has a special place in our heart because from a cinema standpoint, it's incredible. Filmmaking standpoint, it's literally groundbreaking. From a lore standpoint, it's ever growing. But what truly is the correct ranking? I believe mine. You're gonna believe yours.
Yeah.
At the same time, there's a lot of people who don't really know or care about the Aliens franchise. A lot of people, I think, like people I know, brush it off because it's so old. They don't want to watch the first one. But as much as the first one is old in its filmmaking, it's that great.
This is the best one.
It's pretty good because they literally had a person in the suit for the Xenomorph. They had to use kids for the
Yeah,
interior of the ship. There's
I
just
love that.
so much groundbreaking filmmaking, and Ridley Scott is truly a genius for coming up with this world. So I thought before we give our ranking, we go over kind of its new foundation as there is a new show coming up soon.
Yep.
So personally, I think it's going to be really really fun. But going by not like release order, actual physical timeline.
Okay.
So apparently, in the timeline that I googled, which I don't think is that accurate, they put Aliens versus Predator before Prometheus.
Oh, neither of those movies are
Neither of
canon.
those movies are great. I will. There is something from that movie I think is just the coolest thing ever. Like when you say like ninja cowboy kind of thing, but nothing of value. So we're just gonna start with Prometheus. Prometheus, pretty great in its cinematography and its storytelling. But I will say, I think him and I both agree Prometheus is up there with a good movie. Sorry, I had to text him. I think Prometheus is really fun. It's very visually pleasing, and I do love the questions it brings. You know. Then we have Alien Covenant.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. I
We're
gotta
just
talk about Prometheus.
hold on. We're just gonna go through the list. We'll get to each one.
Okay.
We'll get to each one in a second. Alien Covenant, which is divisive among this group. We're gonna get into that. The sequel to Prometheus, in its journey with the new crew and the and David. So I'm just gonna say now it's spoiler.
I hate it when someone gives away the ending.
I can't say for sure anything.
Oh, no. I'm reading the books.
But I can say nothing.
This whole thing's spoiler filled. If you haven't seen the movies, go watch them and come back to this episode. But if you really want to learn more, be ready for a lot of spoilers. And then we have, after Covenant, we do have the new series coming out very soon, Alien Earth, which is a new series where the aliens and the xenomorphs come to Earth, which is a story we really haven't seen. We know they exist on Earth because we have the Alien versus Predator movies, but those usually from their ships. So we're going to get a new story there. Then we have the first one, Alien 1979, Alien Romulus, which came out this last year, which is absolutely great, which is like 20 years after the first movie, which is so good. And then we have and then Aliens, Alien 3, Resurrection. Just all good until Alien Resurrection. Then it got weird.
No.
Real weird. So Cameron, I said we're gonna do a ranking at the end. We're gonna do it now. Why don't you show me your ranking? Because this is gonna get neat.
So I'm gonna start from so I have not seen the Alien versus Predator movies. Sorry.
To me, you're apologizing to me or the one guy that ever
The
watched
world.
it? Oh, okay.
The world.
I think the world forgave you for that.
Oh, thank you, the world. Good
Passive
to know.
aggressive, thank you.
In last place, I have Alien Resurrection.
Mm-hmm.
Just a movie that I think fundamentally misunderstands the appeal of this franchise.
Yeah. Who did that Resurrection? I'm trying to see who did it.
It was Joss Whedon.
No, Jean-Pierre Jeunet.
Yeah, but it was written by Joss Whedon.
Oh, okay. I was meaning director, but never mind. That makes more sense. Joss Whedon, wow, really? The guy that did Toy Story?
It's got some interesting ideas with like the hybrid stuff.
Yeah.
Which is more interestingly done in Romulus.
Mm-hmm.
But
We'll definitely get to that.
it does not work for me.
Mm-hmm.
And then I should say the rest of these I think are pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
In sixth place, I have Alien 3, which I think is a really interesting piece of franchise filmmaking, as it is something that is just angry and sad.
Yeah, man.
It's like, wow, you want to catch up with Ripley and her kid sidekick? Guess what? The kid's dead.
In like the first minute, I think.
Yeah.
Just really like she's like
dead and Ripley's about to die.
Yeah.
Like, and guess what? We're gonna spend all of the movie in prison.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
it's nasty, it's mean, it's sad. I respect the hell out of it.
Okay, man.
I do. I no, like, what other franchise has an entry that is just so mean?
I don't know. I any of the DC movies in the last 10 years, I'd say.
Not even
The Flash was pretty mean.
I mean, it would be like if in Justice League they killed Batman
I know.
in the first scene. Like,
Yeah. Because did you watch it for our Fincher episode?
no.
I know I did, so I didn't know if you caught it too.
So I like Alien 3 quite a bit. I think it's a fun movie, even though Fincher still hates it.
Yeah. It was like his first big movie though.
Yeah, 100%. But yeah. In fifth place, I have Aliens.
Dude, shut up. No, you don't.
It's fine. It's fine. It much like Resurrection, I think it misunderstands what I appreciated about the franchise. I think it's a fine action comedy, but like it completely de-horrifies the Xenomorph.
Mm.
Like, I think the Xenomorph is such an interesting like movie monster because it's so personal. It's so like uh
Hmm.
like the way in which it's scary is scary if it's you and it.
That's why
When
that
there's
video
like
game works.
when there's like hordes of them,
Hmm.
it's like what?
Well, so I could get what you're saying with that, and we'll get into the different types of xenomorph because it is not the same xenomorph that we see in the other
Okay,
ones.
I don't
What?
care.
Dude, no, there's a whole subclass, dude.
This is reaching levels of nerd shit that is like we're
Okay,
splitting
I'm
hairs.
sorry. James Cameron, the director of that, the man who made a whole Blue People's
Yeah,
Society that we
those
go
movies are
spend
good though.
billions, and you're saying that adding more lore to their class society is insane.
I think that if it looks like a xenomorph, it's a xenomorph, and I don't really
It
care.
is a xenomorph, but it's not like
What's the difference then?
okay, well, I was gonna get to it. So there are three classes of the xenomorphs, the ones that we
Okay.
all know. There is the drones, aka they have called the worker class. There's the warrior, and then there's the runners. The warrior is in Aliens 2, where they have the rigid head, the tubes out their back, and they are just like a much stronger like xenomorph. They have the ability to obliterate in a more aggressive tone. And then the drones, which is what we saw in the first one, they're more sleek. They're all black. There's no ridged head. It's just that because they are like the scouts. They're the ones that kind of go in alone and take everything. They're like special forces in a way, but they're not as empowered. And then we have the runners, which are not human based. They're actually animal based. Because if you've seen Aliens 3, he comes out of the dog. And in a special edition, he comes out of the ox. So that's why they're much more faster and they're more sleek because they're not humanoid, they're animal based.
Okay. Here's what all of that does for me. Nothing. It actively detracts from any mystic. Like, here's my thing with any movie
I
monster.
don't disagree about it takes away the horror. It does make an action comedy. I will not
The
disagree there.
the more you know about a thing, the less scary it is.
Hmm.
The more there is a mystery, the more your brain is going to fill in the gaps, and it's going to fill in the gaps to make it like
More
as
scary.
scary.
I get that's why Jaws was so popular. You barely saw the
Yeah.
shark. I get that.
I just think that when you have our characters who are they're fine, like Ripley's fine, the kid, like it's I I've seen it. I get that like probably that was like the first one to really do it, but like I've seen those characters before. I've seen this kind of story before. I didn't think the action particularly blew me away. I think it's just a fun time. I think everything with the company is great.
Mm-hmm.
Wayland Yutani, that's how you build your lore.
Mm-hmm.
Like build that crazy company.
Mm-hmm.
And Paul Reiser, I think, is actually really good in that movie.
Mm-hmm.
But everything else just kind of felt like a bog standard action movie when after watching Alien, I wanted it's such a unique type of horror.
Mm-hmm.
Like no other movie is scary in the way that Alien is scary. And then to go and watch Aliens, it's just like, oh, this thing that's so singular is now just kind of like a generic action movie. And I get that it is the action movie that other action movies are trying to be, but
Mm-hmm.
it didn't do a lot for me.
Okay.
Don't get me wrong.
I hear your opinion.
It's
and
good.
I still care about
I
it.
still like it.
Yeah.
It's just I like the other four that come after it because I think they do more and are more interesting.
That's insane. I just please continue.
All right. At number 4, I have Prometheus, which I think is just a real interesting
Mm-hmm.
kind of blockbuster.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm a big fan of Damon Lindelof, who wrote Prometheus. He also did the Watchmen show. He did The Leftovers. He's about to do the Green Lantern show.
Is he really?
Yeah, that's him.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's getting good. Because I just watched Green Lantern the other day because it's a guilty pleasure of mine.
Uh,
Can't wait for it to get better.
you should feel guilty.
Dude, I'm a fan of so little that I get so little.
Um,
Okay.
but like he's such a like a philosophical writer. Like The Leftovers is my favorite TV show of all time.
Yeah, you've spoken
Is
about it here a couple.
so good.
I'm more excited to watch it every time you talk about it.
And I what my review for it on Letterboxd I think was pretty good. I said like only Damon Lindelof would get hired to write an Alien prequel and come back with a script titled Prometheus, you
Yeah,
know.
yeah,
Like
that is true.
I think the whole creation myth, I think the way in which they do alien lore in Prometheus and Covenant is exactly how they should do it. And I don't need classes. I don't need subtypes. I need more confusing bullshit. Like this guy made black goop in some like sure, give me biology that makes zero sense.
Hmm.
Like
And created the
that's
humans.
yeah, like I think
Yeah,
um it's really pretty.
shot well.
Loved the art design. Like the spacesuits are so cool.
Yeah.
Um, I think a lot of the characterization is where the movie fails, but it does introduce us to the franchise's most interesting character, David. I love David. David rocks.
Dude.
Fassbender is truly
He's that guy.
so good.
Yeah.
He's so good. Um, yeah, I think Prometheus is not a perfect film by any means. I'd say it's about as good as Aliens. I think with the themes it's dealing with, it's just doing more for me.
Hmm.
It's thinking about more. Yeah. Anyway. In third place, I have Romulus,
Wow.
which I thought was real good.
Real,
I
real good.
thought Rain and
Oh, I know.
Robot,
Yeah.
Andy.
Andy.
I thought their dynamic was really interesting.
Yeah.
Uh,
That guy
especially
the guy that played Andy was so good.
he's very good.
So good.
And then it's like, I mean, it's obviously like a homage to the whole franchise.
Hmm.
Um,
Especially with that one cameo, which I
uh,
don't want to say.
yeah, that's
Oh, but
that's the
spoiler.
one thing that bumps the movie down for me.
Really?
100%. It's
Oh my
terrible.
god. No, see, okay, I'll get into why I thought it was pretty remarkable, but go on.
I think it's dumb that he came back or that they brought a dead man back to be in the movie.
Hmm.
And it looks ugly.
Okay, hold on. That I don't agree with. I meant the concept of what it was, not bringing back Ian Holm.
I think everything about that character's inclusion in the movie made me want to bash my head through a wall because I liked everything else so much.
Mm.
It's gorgeous visually. It's so well shot.
Yeah.
Um,
Please tell
think
me
a
it got
lot
the
of
nomination for best cinematography. Did it? Let me check.
no, I don't think so. It's just like some of the sequences in this movie are so inventive
Mhm.
and interesting. Like the zero gravity
Yeah.
blood sequence,
Oh, so
the
good.
the body temperature face crawler hallway scene.
I also love the body scanner. The like you can see like the bones and everything like that. X-ray machine.
Yeah.
That was pretty
Also, the deaths are real sick. Like that
Yeah.
chest burster, that first one, like nasty.
Mhm.
Like the way that shitty British guy died with the acid was really interesting. I always wondered what would happen if that like if um
Shitty
it's
British guy. Is that his IMDb credit? Shitty British guy? Because I think
yeah,
it
I
is.
think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I
Um,
think actually it just says SBG
Yeah.
for short. Yeah.
Yeah. And everybody knows what SBG means.
Could be
Um,
plural or singular. Really,
yeah.
it's in context.
but I think more than anything else, it brought the Alien franchise its third and fourth interesting character.
Andy?
Andy and Rain.
Yeah.
And before it was Ripley and David. And that's it.
I mean, one could make the argument for the engineers, but I would definitely agree Ripley. And
Well, the engineers aren't really characters.
I get that, but I mean, in the terms of like wanting more questions and clarifying the existence of this universe, I think the engineers are pretty remarkable. And
Yeah.
Romulus did get visual effects. It didn't. I don't think it got cinematography.
Yeah.
Damn.
In second place, I have Alien Covenant,
Okay.
which I think is one of the most interesting blockbusters ever made. It mixes the like philosophical musings of Prometheus with the nasty hatred of Alien 3.
Mhm.
Like it's just a real interesting movie. The deaths
It's
are
definitely interesting.
so gross, are
Mhm.
so mean. And this was directed by like a 70-year-old Ridley Scott. Like it's impressive.
How old is Ridley Scott now? Hold on. What?
Old, I think.
He is. Take a guess. I got it. I got it right here. Give me a guess. Give me a guess.
Oh, like 78,
87.
87. Yeah, damn. Like
Wait, he's eight. I said it out loud. He's 87?
that's crazy.
That's, I mean,
Just directed Gladiator 2.
I was just gonna say, yeah, I thought he was in his like 70s for sure. I didn't realize he's eight. I mean, I read it right here, and I still saying out loud, just clicked.
That's crazy.
I mean, Clint Eastwood's doing it at 100 billion years old, so I mean, Ridley Scott can do it.
But yeah, I think Covenant was just a really interesting movie. It had a lot of thoughts on its mind about like God and creation.
Yeah.
And I think David is so cool. I love how psychopathic he is.
What was the other AI? Because Michael
It
Fassbender
was,
played
it was
two.
David
And
and
like George.
Walter.
Walt. Yeah, it was one of the. It was a white name. Yeah, Walter.
But
It also his ability to go between both of them, because one of them, like David had that British accent and Walter had like almost like a Bostonian accent or something.
yeah,
It was something. Michael Fassbender is that dude.
but I thought the idea of making all of the passengers like romantic partners, like
Mhm.
husbands and wives,
Mhm.
was a really interesting way to have like the weight of nameless like kind of impactful, because like you'd see one guy die and then another person just like be like, oh, lost everything.
Mhm.
That was my like it was a way to make the mindless carnage impactful
Mm.
or have at least some weight.
Mhm.
And then it's like the last sequence is really cool, like the alien and the crane hand. And then I think the one thing where this movie like starts to lose me is you see the end twist from like a mile away.
Which,
But
by the way, it is a spoiler filled. So if you do want to say it, it's
yeah, you know that that's David and not Walter.
yeah.
Actually, you know that kind of twist is gonna happen the
Mhm.
second you meet Walter.
Yeah,
It's
you. Yeah.
Oh, there's going to be a scene where there's some confusion between
Yeah.
who is who.
Yeah, I mean, because I know they're working on at least there's talks of a third Prometheus installment.
I want it. I want it. I want
know-
it.
I
I
know you
want
do.
it.
I
I
know.
want it real bad. What the happened to David? What's he up to? What's that
See-
little freak thinking about? What's he doing?
Because I
He's got
know.
shit full of people and a bunch of alien shit. He's probably creating some nasty shit,
I was
man.
gonna say.
He's creating some shit we don't even understand.
Because if you look at the timeline, as of right now, after Covenant is Earth. So this could be a way where they introduce the
Dude,
facehuggers into Earth.
if David shows up in Alien Earth, I'm gonna lose my shit.
Dude, I would too. Probably not the same
Oh.
reason.
Here's something that should have happened and would have made more sense. Should have been David in Alien Romulus, not Ian Holm.
I don't
Because like
disagree.
they
I don't
even
disagree.
had the like Prometheus juice in it, the black goo.
It did.
Like it would have made 100.
Wait, where was the black
times
goo?
more. She injected it into her neck.
Oh, that's
She had
right.
the baby.
Oh, that's right. I totally forgot. Yeah, I was wondering. I forgot how the hybrid happened. Because I know she was on the ship the whole time. That makes more
Yeah.
sense. Okay.
Oh yeah, that was another thing about Romulus, I should say. That ending owns bones, my bad.
Never. Yeah,
That,
no.
that
Okay.
shit was radical,
We'll
brother.
we'll get into the ending of that because I love the ending a lot. There were some parts that whatever. So give me your final last one and then I'll quickly.
Yeah, I've been prattling on way too long just trying to defend Covenant, but
Man.
Covenant's good. It's nasty, it's
Okay.
mean, and it's got a lot on its
Again, I
mind.
don't disagree with it nasty and mean. There's a lot I just disagree with, but go on, go on, go on.
And then the last one is Alien. It's singular. It's like one of those movies that defines
Sci-fi.
everything that comes
Yeah.
after it.
Yeah.
It is the focal point. It is
The
a
Prometheus.
beautiful mix of horror and like just the most incredible art design.
Yeah, pretty damn good. And it was real. Like it wasn't CG. It was
Yeah,
real.
really good movie.
Yeah.
I don't think there's anything I could say about Alien that hasn't already been said.
Yeah.
It's just it's what everything else wants to be.
Yeah. No, I can understand that. Quickly for me, last one, Alien Resurrection. I didn't watch it as well. I did watch CinemaSins video of it. And I was fine with that. Fine with that. I was not interested just from
How
this.
cinema is meant to be watched.
Absolutely. I know that's how you go about it. Number 6, Alien Covenant. Let me defend this real quick. I don't disagree that it is bloody and it is gory. I think that aspect was very entertaining for like a mindless jangling of the keys. Like, oh, hey, this guy got his face blown off. I get it. That's fun. I think the fun's the wrong word, but I think the blood bursters and the way that a lot of this gore felt like the original idea of it was nice. What I didn't like was that it made David important so much more than what it was in Prometheus. Because what I liked about Prometheus is that in my mind, it made sense on how aliens and Prometheus was connected. They try and leave the planet and they crash land on that other planet where the distress signal is, and then aliens is made. Yeah. Now knowing that they made it to the actual engineer's world and David killed Dr. Shaw to then create this new type of xenomorph, all in the sense where then the original plan for David was to bring Waylon to like strike a deal with the engineers and literally meet his creator for immortality. Because Waylon's if corporate America should be seen in one movie, Prometheus is the movie. Never work for an organization. Be your hero. Either way, I think David creating the xenomorphs, in my opinion, or creating a different type of xenomorphs, took away the special feeling of these just being a foreign creature. I mean, like the name xenomorph meant like foreign thing. I don't know. It was great.
I don't think it matters.
Yeah. So the term xenomorph means alien form. And so I think the whole point of it being this thing from space that can kill you, it's the perfect hunting machine. It's the thing that will kill you no matter what. I think taking away the fact that it was so out there and we may never know where they come from was so special. But now that David made the goo onto the engineers, killing the thing, becoming his own god, having his own, I would say, parasocial relationship with the xenomorphs that he made, felt weird.
I don't think it's parasocial. He's very social.
Yeah, what was the word I was looking for? Like
parental.
There's the word. Parasocial, parental. I'm out of it. Parental relationship with these things that I felt was, I don't know, it just felt very, very detracted from the actual world of aliens that I couldn't ride with. And I don't disagree making all the people nameless care because it was someone's partner. I didn't hate that all of it. I didn't hate all of it. What I did hate though is that it was so like, I don't know, it just felt like every death had to mean something. And then you like, they die, that was my wife, or dang, that was my husband. Each death had like an explanation of why that person was sad. I think if it was out of the gate, kind of known or at least thrown in a little differently, it would felt so repetitive. They're like, oh my gosh, my husband.
Movies
died.
Start with them just killing James Franco.
Oh, love that.
Love that. So good.
favorite opening ever to any movie. Having James Franco die like that, whew, awesome.
Before he could even say a word.
No, that's his best acting he's ever done.
Yeah.
Forget 127. Perfect. I think they actually lit him on fire.
He was method for that.
Yeah. I think just I don't know. I didn't hate that they were all married. I just didn't like that whenever they died, it was said that they were like married. It was like, oh my gosh, death, marry, death, marry, death, marry. Like I feel like if it was more well known in the beginning, you can
Right.
then create
They could
that
have established it
establish it
more.
a little better. That's what it took me out. And then David being a whack ass
He's
biologist.
awesome. I love him.
I do
I
love the set of his little hut, but I don't know the flute. What's with the flute, man?
It's like God, like in giving his creations, like
Yeah, no, don't try and defend it. And the line and the whole line,
it's not that
don't
bad.
nah. It was really it wasn't just it made no sense to me. And then the line that me and Sophie kept dying laughing at was
Well,
when he was,
they very much established that the flute was like how they controlled
no,
the.
I understand.
Yeah.
I met the moment with him and Walter. It's like it just I don't know. Felt like it was like a just to extend the runtime. It added nothing.
Like
to me.
he's very much like it's him trying to control Walter.
I just feel like there could have been another way to do it, man. Because Walter was he was still young he was like an infant still in his creation state. So I feel like that he could have been a much more acceptable person because he was still so young. But the line that me and Sophie kept dying laughing was when he was holding the flute. He goes like, "Breathe into the nostrils of a horse, and it will be yours." That was the funniest line I ever heard in my life. Made no sense. So now whenever like we're like challenged on something, we just go up to it and go, and then it's just I was supposed to be a louder breath. Whatever. Point is, sucks. I've been going too long. Alien 3, it's too much CGI. It took me out, and it was just too much of a horde. It wasn't bad. It wasn't great. Number 4, Prometheus, like you. Number 3, Alien. Number 2, Alien Romulus, and then number
What?
1, I love Alien. And number, by the way, in no way is it like much difference. Alien Romulus and Alien go back and forth with 2 and 3. This is just when I last wrote it. So I mean, Alien freaking set the tone for everything. Alien Romulus, I felt like what I wanted an Alien franchise with just more. Get your Kilroy face back in the frame. What are you doing? I liked it. I loved the zero gravity sequence in Romulus, and I think a lot of what Alien did right was just set the tone. In no way is with 3-2-1 a vast difference. It's literally like millimeters apart. Whatever. Don't get. Is that your white boy Riz face? What's that called? What is that?
No, this is concern, and I'm trying to understand you.
Number 1 is Aliens, though. Aliens for me is I think the perfect sci-fi movie.
Yeah.
So good. Also, I mean, it just so good. I can't get enough of it. I can't get enough of it.
Nope.
I mean, I don't see what's so wrong about making this whole thing horror and a little action. Yes, it does detract from its one-on-one horror, but I think what I like about sci-fi is the exploration of like action, sci-fi, horror. I love all that. So for me, it's like the perfect sci-fi movie.
You know what I want? I want a Star Trek episode where they meet the Xenomorph.
You say Star Trek or Wars?
Trek.
Oh, okay, that'd be cool.
I'd watch that. That'd be fun.
Which Star Trek? Like the new one with Chris Pine,
I don't know.
or the one with Jack, or the one with Jack Quaid?
Yes, Jack Quaid getting face hugged. Oh man, I saw
I was gonna
Companion
say you saw
today.
Companion. Yeah.
Yeah, it's fine.
Was it better than you thought?
No,
So I'll
it
probably like it.
was fine.
Okay, I'll probably like it.
And if Sophie Thatcher is watching this, hey, how you doing?
Actually, she's our number 1 listener. In case you
Oh,
didn't know.
is she really?
She's
Great.
number 1. It goes her and then Adria Archona.
Yeah. I just want to say, hey, I'm a bartender living in Columbia, Missouri. I could I don't know. I could like buy you McDonald's every once in a while. I can provide. That's what I'm trying to say here. You like Domino's?
Dude,
I got
this
a
conversation's been
robust
blocked.
rewards profile.
Medium 2 topping free pizza, baby. Come on.
Yeah,
Those 60
that's what
points
I'm
didn't
talking
earn
about.
themselves.
I got 40 points right now. If I order 2 more times, I get a free pizza. Like, tell me, like nobody else
Ain't
is,
none-
is on my level.
Can we split
Like,
it? And that's all I ask. You just split it? We just
Yeah.
split the pizza.
Uh,
Buddy, you got to get out. Okay.
yeah.
So before we wrap up, there are some things I'd like to go over, which is the aliens. Because I think what makes this movie so much fun is that the fact that there's more than one. This whole franchise has so many different types of them.
Really care.
Do you not really want to go over it? Because I thought it'd be interesting to kind of expand the whole franchise of
I
Aliens.
mean, did we already talk about
Not all,
guys?
no, there's a lot of them, dude.
Ugh.
So bear with me. It's quick. So we have the ovomorphs, which are the alien eggs. Then we have the face huggers, and then the royal face
I
huggers.
love the face huggers.
Face huggers are so
Huggers.
good. Yeah,
Beautiful design.
so good. The fact that they did practicality for Romulus on the wheels was so good.
Ah, yeah, very cool.
We have the royal face huggers, which do carry the eggs and embryo for the queen xenomorph, which is what we saw in Aliens.
Mhm.
Then we have the blood bursters, which is what is seen in Alien Covenant, from those spores that in the medical bay it comes out of that dude's
Dude,
back.
that one that like shoots out of the dude's throat, that is
Yeah.
the
So
nastiest kill in that movie.
that is so the point of that, it slips into the bloodstream and it grows in there, and when it can't come out of the back, it does then take the next thing, which is like the throat chest area, which is crazy. Then we have the original chest burster, which is from the face huggers, and planting the embryo in the chest, punches its way through, and then kind of you see what happens next. Then the engineers, which are like jacked, pale dudes that are 12 feet tall, serious cut, that are essentially the creators of the world. All planets that we kind of know that have any life form, they had a bit of a tweak in there, and then as well as the alien
By the way,
human race.
Tangent real quick.
Mm-hmm.
When I was 10, I was at my dad's job and I was talking to like one of his coworkers. Prometheus had like just come out and he was like, "Oh, you gonna go see Prometheus?" And I was like, "No, like I'm 10." And he's like, "Oh, you don't like aliens?" And I was like, "Shit, I do think aliens are pretty cool." I watched Prometheus for the first time last year. I think that man was trying to traumatize me
Yeah, Prometheus at 10 years old would have been
a lot.
way too much.
Way too much.
Way too much. And then we have the deacons, which are also in Prometheus.
Well,
They're
yes.
almost the early stage of a xenomorph, but but they're pretty much just kind of like not really anything associated with the aliens world, other than to show that Prometheus and aliens are connected.
You remember that weird like tentacle motherfucker?
We're gonna get into that in a second. Yeah. That one, I think the creation of it is interesting. So after the deacons, we have the drones, the warrior, and the runners that we saw from the different aliens movies, Aliens, and then Alien 3. And then we have the newborn from Alien Resurrection. So this is the spawn of the clone of Ripley and the clone of the Queen Xenomorph. The really weird, like almost Pizza the Hut looking thing from Spaceballs. You know what I'm saying?
I've not watched Spaceballs. It's one of those
What?
that I need to watch.
Dude, we got to do a Mel Brooks episode then. So that one's just kind of looks like melted glue. Not really anything scary. It just looks kind of just weird. Then we have the Neomorphs in Alien Covenant. So this is growing from a bloodburster. They are
That's the,
stark white. Yeah, the
white
pale.
motherfucker.
Yeah, the
Dude,
pale. ones.
I love that the one bit where like somebody shoots it and then like David turns around and he has like just the most horrified look on his face. He's like,
The guttural scream of
Yeah.
it's just like crazy.
really good.
They are
What a
complete
little
white.
freak. I love
Yeah,
him.
they're so white and compared to the xenomorphs, which are they're considered like the ancestors to them. And so even
Yeah.
at a young age, these things grow into quick adults like all xenomorphs. Then we have the Praetomorph from Alien Covenant. It's the same thing where this is the closest thing to a xenomorph from the ovomorph. Then that was actually the one that was created by David. Those artificial ovomorphs in that little small hut where you kind of see that guy get infected and quickly grown from the little pods he was making. And so instead of growing from a young embryo, these arrive fully formed adults and behave very similar to the drone warrior class in the actual xenomorphs. Then the big ones that you were talking about, the big face hugger, it's called the trilobite, where this one I think is the most interesting. If you remember in Prometheus,
Like an actual animal.
well, it says trilobites. That's what they're called.
Huh.
So, as you know, in Prometheus, there's that one couple that gets infected. That one person gets infected from David putting it in his drink.
Right.
Then he and his wife get it on. She quickly becomes pregnant and has to remove the embryo from her body, and then it's gone. We then later see at the end of the movie this giant facehugger thing. That's what came from it. It came from her. So
Right.
that little thing grew into this big trilobite, which is a giant facehugger and took down the engineer like no other. And from that came the the actual xenomorph came from the engineer, which was
I
then
like the one that was like tased in
yeah. I think that
Romulus.
was oh, that was a different one. Yeah. But the one that came from the trilobite was, I think, the Dakin that came from the engineer. So there's a whole connected line there.
Yeah.
Then we have the one I was mentioning earlier from Alien vs. Predator, the Predalien. Half alien, half predator, all ass. That thing is incredible. No?
Ugh. I'm never watching those movies.
How is that not? Well, sorry, that was from Alien vs. Predator Requiem, the second one.
Oh, sorry.
So you don't gotta wait until the. It just was like, but it's how is that not cool? It's like a space cowboy, bro. Not space cowboy,
It
bro.
feels so corporate.
It's so corporate, but it's so cool. You know how cool of a toy that would be? The Predalien,
That would be pretty sick.
right? I don't know. That'd be kind of cool. Then we have the Offspring, which is Alien Romulus, which is that one basketball high schooler dude from like Nova Scotia or whatever. You know what I'm talking about?
What, the shitty British guy?
No. So in Alien Romulus, at the end of the movie, we see this 12-foot monster. That's
That guy.
yeah, it's a real
Yeah.
dude. He's like a basketball player from like Cleveland
Yeah.
or something, but he's like
Yeah.
from like Nova Scotia or something.
I have pictures of him on my phone.
Why?
He became a good reaction image to send to my friend.
Oh, so I just was like, you have like a shrine in your phone to this guy, like
Yeah.
to Ilya, whatever his name is. Yeah, so that's a real dude in a real suit. Like that is, I think, one of the best uses of practical effects. And
Hey,
also,
look at that guy. He's creepy just in real life. You don't
I
even
mean,
need to put
that can't be
put it-
healthy, man. How tall is he
No.
again? 8'2"?
I have no idea.
I don't know. He's a tall man. And then the last one we have is the Xenomorph Queen, Aliens. She lays a bunch of eggs. So there's a lot to this world that I think we really haven't talked about. I think we talked about like what makes this such a fun franchise. But what I think this franchise is really, really cool at is it still is entertaining in its own-
7'7".
Yeesh. Oh, I pray that guy doesn't have any health problems because there's no way.
Like he almost certainly does.
Yeah, and I think a gust of wind and he's down.
Yeah.
But either way, this franchise is always fun, even in its worst form. I
Yeah.
think it's bloody. It's a damn good time, whether you're bored with the niche and minutia of it, or you're just there to watch stuff explode. Which either way,
Yeah.
I think start to finish, this series is really, really great. I know we kind of just like info dumped and we really didn't talk about much, which was on me. But what I like about the franchise is that no matter who's watching it, there's always a favorite. So whatever I consider is the worst, you consider is the best. And what I consider the best, you don't consider the best. I think that's what makes it so much fun. But at the same time, is because it's like the different interpretations of pure sci-fi and what your outlook of life is. So like those who have a different output on religion or God figures is what, Covenant can be all about. And then what we just have for horror, which is what Aliens. So I love it. I think it's a staple to cinema no matter which way you watch it.
Yeah.
Any final thoughts or?
Like this franchise. I watched it all for the first time last year. So I guess I'm a noob. Yeah.
Oh wow.
But it was a really fun thing. I look forward to Alien Earth. I look forward to
That's coming out this month, isn't it?
No. Summer.
Oh, it's summer. Oh.
Yeah.
I thought it was
I look forward to whatever the Romulus sequel will be.
Potential Prometheus trilogy being completed.
If that could happen, I will cry.
Well, I mean, there was discussion on it this week about it.
Would love to see it.
I would too.
Yeah.
I got nothing else, man. Unless you got something to add, I think we wrap up here.
Yeah, no.
No, I got nothing else. Yeah, so next week I have a very special
Oh, I saw the
episode.
Brutalist.
We talked about that last episode.
Did we?
Mhm.
Crazy.
I know. Unless you watched it again.
I might have amnesia, I think.
Well, I mean, you do got a weird sleep schedule, so I don't blame you.
I do.
Yeah. No, next week we have a very interesting episode, which I will reveal coming up on our Instagram and stuff like that. So be checking out there. Check us out on Spotify, Apple Podcasts if you haven't checked out the past episodes of season 3. Possibly so far my favorite season. We have our Tu-Vie Trivia Night episode, which was a great one. Cameron, I think, almost broke down in tears. We have our Disney Infinity episode on that one. We have so many great ones. And for this season, I am working on getting a Kermit puppet for our Jim Henson episode. So we will have possibly a Muppet there. What are you doing?
Mhm.
Why are you making a face like that?
No, could you hear me at all there?
No, all I saw was just your big eye.
Oh, I was whispering.
Oh,
You got to tell me what next week's episode is.
I'll reveal it on our Instagram, which you guys should go check out.
What?
Yeah.
I don't use Instagram.
Bummer. You got to check it out. And we'll see you guys next time.